Hello, lovely people. Thank you so much for being here. I am Amy, and today I'm going to take you through a lovely heart-opening, back-bend infused yoga flow with a focus on the heart chakra. So, as the name suggests, this chakra is located right around our heart, and it's all about compassion, empathy, love, and forgiveness, both for ourselves and for other people. So it's represented by the colour green, and it's associated with the element of air, and we want it to be balanced so that we can feel love for both ourselves and for other people, but also so that we can maintain healthy boundaries. And this chakra also connects the lower three and the upper three chakras, so you can think of it as kind of a gateway between earth and spirit, between physicality and spirituality. So as you're ready, just make your way to a comfortable seat anywhere on your mat, closing the eyes if you wish. Starting to take deep breaths in and out through the nose. And start to bring your attention to the space around your heart, so around all four sides of it. Maybe you can even notice your heartbeat or your pulse somewhere in your body. You can imagine a glowing green light at the centre of your chest, and with every inhale, this light gets a little bit bigger. And just take a moment to bring to mind somebody that you love and dedicate your practice to them today if you wish. You can softly open the eyes now. We're going to work our way through a pranayama called Robin's Breath. It goes like this. We'll bring our palms to press together at heart center. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, extend those arms straight ahead, rounding through the spine. Inhale, cactus the arms, open through the chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, bring the hands back to center. Exhale, push them forward. Inhale, blossom that heart open, pull the heart through. Exhale, round. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, draw the chin in towards the chest, rounding through the spine. Inhale, open the chest, shine the collarbones forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, push those hands away. Inhale, draw those elbows and those shoulders down, lifting the chest towards the sky. And exhale, round. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, release those hands down onto the knees. Take a deep breath in, sweep the arms up overhead, and breathe out. Place that right hand or right forearm down on the mat. Take a side bend over to the right. Take a deep inhale here, feel that left side body cracking open, filling up with air. And breathe out, take that left hand onto the right knee and push your way up into a twist. Taking that right hand behind you, maybe reaching it around for the left thigh. Inhale to get long. Exhale Go a little bit deeper, twisting from the upper spine. One more deep breath in here and breathe out. Breathe in, sweep those arms up overhead and breathe out, left hand or left forearm down to the mat, stretching open through that right side body. Inhale, fill that right lung with air. And exhale, right hand comes onto left knee. Push your way up into a twist, taking that left hand behind or reaching it around for the bind. Let's flow through that a few times. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, come down to the right. Inhale here. Exhale, take it into your twist. Inhale here. Exhale, go a bit deeper. Inhale, unwind, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, come off to the left. Inhale here. Exhale, take it into your twist. Inhale here. And breathe out, take it a bit deeper. Last time in both sides. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, stretching open to the right. Deep breath in here and release that air as you come into the twist. One full cycle of breath in and out through the nose here. Then fill the lungs with air as you sweep the arms up overhead and release that air as you bend over to the left. Inhale here, feel that stretch, and exhale, twisting round to the left. Fill the lungs with air here, breathe all the way into the belly, and breathe out. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, and breathe out, release those hands down onto the knees. Now make your way into a tabletop position, stacking shoulders over elbows, over wrists, hips over the knees, and let's take some cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, keep that core nice and engaged, and exhale, round through the spine, draw the chin and the chest towards one another. Inhale, pull the heart through, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, pull that tailbone in, pull that chin in. Inhale, lift that chest, keep those elbows nice and soft. And exhale, create a nice rainbow with your spine. Take a few more rounds on your own, moving at the pace of your own breath. Inhaling to lift the chest and exhaling to round as you go. As you're ready, let's all come back and meet in a tabletop position. And then inhale, sweep that right arm up towards the sky, opening through the chest. And then exhale, thread that right arm underneath the left. Come onto the right ear and the right shoulder, coming into a twist. You can stay here using the left arm or the left hand to push you a little bit deeper, or you can lift that left arm up to the sky and wrap it around the right inner thigh, coming into a bind. Really opening across the chest and the shoulders here. Inhale, sweep that left arm up high, press your way back up, sweep that right arm up towards the sky one last time, and then release it down. Inhale, sweep that left arm up towards the sky, and exhale, thread it through, coming onto left ear and left shoulder. Stay here with the right hand on the mat, or sweep that right arm up towards the sky, wrap it around the left inner thigh, and come into a bind. Inhale, sweep that right arm up towards the sky, place it down, and then sweep that left arm up before placing it back down on the mat. Back into our tabletop position, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, send the hips up towards the sky, coming into our downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal out through the legs, bringing one heel at a time down towards the mat. Now we're going to take some spinal waves, so rounding your way forward into a plank position and then snaking your way back to a downward facing dog. Inhaling to round forward, exhaling to push back. Once again, just go at your own pace. Articulating through every single vertebra. Just take it slow. Now come back and meet us in a downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, round through the spine. Step that foot through between the hands and then drop that back knee down onto the floor. You can stay here, keeping the hands either side of the foot, or you can bring the hands to interlace behind the back and take a little back bend. Back toes can be flat or tucked under. Keep those legs nice and engaged and try and keep the back bend in the upper spine. Release that clasp, sweep the arms up overhead, and then take that right hand down, either coming onto fingertips or flat down onto your hand. Right hand is in line with the right hip, and then let's take a nice side stretch over to the right. Feeling that stretch all the way from the left fingertips, down the left side body, maybe into the left hip and left quad. Deep breaths here. And release, sweep that right arm up towards the sky, then frame the foot, pick up that back knee, step the right foot to meet the left in our plank for just a moment, and then send it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that left leg high, exhale, round through the spine, engage the core, and step it through between the hands. Drop that back knee down and stay here if you wish. Or bring those hands to interlace, taking the opposite interlace this time, so opposite thumb on top, the one that probably feels a bit weird, and then sinking into that back bend, but keeping everything nice and switched on, so inner thighs are activated, drawing towards one another, core is engaged. Release that clasp. Inhale, take those arms up overhead, and then exhale, left hand plants by the left hip. Take a stretch over to the left hand side. Find some energy in those right fingertips, so really drawing them to the left side of the room. And sending your breath into the right side body. Now inhale, come back to centre, sweep those arms up overhead, and then exhale, frame the left foot, pick up the back knee, step it back to plank, and then back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here to reset, take a deep breath in through the nose and maybe sigh it out through the mouth. Then inhale, sweep that right leg high. Exhale, step it through between the hands, and this time sweep the arms overhead, keep that back knee lifted, or you can have it down if you wish, coming into our crescent lunge pose. Inhale here, then once again let's exhale to draw those hands together behind the lower back and take a little heart opening back bend. Head is in line with spine, so don't throw the head back too far. Now inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Then take the right hand to the right hip as we stretch over to the right, reaching those left fingers up and over. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, frame the foot. This time you're going to step it back into a three-legged dog and then keep on travelling, opening it up into your wild thing. So the right toes are on the floor, left leg is working towards straight. Right fingertips are reaching down towards the mat. Really opening through the chest here. One last inhale here. And then breathe out, spin your way back into a three-legged dog and then back to downward facing dog. Let's go straight to the other side. So deep breath in, sweep that left leg high and release the air as you step your way forward, planting that foot between the hands. Get nice and stable and then fill the lungs with air as you rise up into your crescent lunge. Take those hands to interlace behind the lower back, taking the opposite cross once again, and then open through the chest, reaching the heart towards the sky as you draw the shoulders down towards the ground. Now inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Left hand comes to left hip as we stretch open to the left. Gaze is wherever is comfortable. Legs are nice and engaged. Now inhale, sweep those arms up to the sky. Exhale, frame the foot, send it back into your three-legged dog and then work your way over into wild thing. Keep lifting through the chest, so not totally dumping all of our weight into that right hand. And release, plant that left hand down, sweep that left leg up to the sky and then bring it back to your downward facing dog. Now inhale, rock your way forward into a plank position and then exhale, lower your way all the way onto your belly. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift, hands are underneath the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, using the strength of the spine. You should be able to lift your hands off the mat. And exhale, lower. One last time, inhale, lift. Now keep the chest lifted and lift those hands off the mat and hold here, finding some strength in the lower back. Now once again, bring those hands to interlace behind the lower back and lift the chest even further off the floor. Stay here, or you can lift the feet off the mat as well, really strengthening that lower back. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Can you lift even higher? And release. Place those hands underneath the shoulders, tuck under the toes, press up to a plank, and then back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto the toes, bend into the knees. Exhale, pop the hands to the feet, coming into a forward fold, pedaling out through the legs. Now inhale, press the hands into the shins. Really focus on keeping a nice open heart here, so drawing those shoulders back, drawing the chest forward, keeping the gaze down at the top of the mat. Now inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, twist, open to the right, sending the left arm forward and the right arm back. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twist, open to the left. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach tall. And then exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Turn to face the long edge of your mat. And then step the feet out wide, turning the toes to point in ever so slightly, pressing through the outer edges of the feet, keeping those legs nice and strong, nice and active. Let's inhale, get tall, and then exhale, hinge from the hips, come down to a flat back. Once again, keep that focus on having a nice open heart, so drawing those shoulders back, drawing the collarbones forward, and then extend those arms out in front of you. Really finding some strength in the core, in the lower back. One more breath in here, and then breathe out. Release those hands down towards the mat. Maybe wiggle around through the hips, feeling that stretch in the inner thighs. You can just stay here, or you can once again bring those hands to interlace behind the lower back and let them flop forward down towards the ground. Legs are still nice and active. Drawing the heels of the hands towards one another. Now release that clasp. Inhale, come up to a flat back, just let everything settle. And then exhale, turn those right toes to face out, straighten the right leg. Reach the arms long, bump the hips back, and tilt your way forward into your Trikonasana. So finding length through both sides of the waist here, finding an opening through the chest. Let's take some circles with that top arm, going in one direction, and then take those circles in the other direction. Now, as you're ready, come back up to standing, turn the right toes in and turn the left toes out. Bump those hips towards the front of the mat this time and work your way into Trikonasana on the other side. Really finding length through both sides of the waist here. So if you're collapsing into the bottom side, then maybe just press into your shin or into a block if you've got one. And let's take those circles with the right hand. Going in one direction, really focusing on opening through the chest and shoulders, and let's switch directions. Now bring that arm straight up to the sky, rise back up to standing, turn both toes in, and we're just going to step our way back to Tadasana at the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step it back to plank, and then work your way down through a vinyasa if you wish. Lifting the chest, coming into upward facing dog, and then sending the hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that right leg high. Exhale, step it through between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, take those hands behind the back, open through the chest, and then put all of your weight into your right foot as you step your way forward into a bound warrior three. You can release the clasp if you need to and bring the hands down to the floor. Take 2 deep breaths here, and then carry on travelling the chest down towards the thigh, coming into a bound standing splits. Once again, taking the hands down if you need to. Keeping the clasp if you can, step that left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Toes are pointing at a slight angle, front heel bisects the back arch, and then sink your way down into a warrior two, keeping that bind. Stay here or take it into humble warrior, so bringing that right shoulder towards the right knee, letting the hands flop towards the ground. Inhale, come back, release into your standard warrior two. Take a nice stretch back on your next breath in, and then breathe out. Cartwheel those hands down to the floor, step it back to plank, work your way through a chaturanga. Inhaling to upward facing dog, lifting the chest, exhaling to downward facing dog. Straight to the other side, deep breath in, sweep the left leg up, and release that air as you step it through between the hands. Inhale, sweep those arms overhead. Exhale, take the opposite clasp behind the back, open through the chest. Inhale here, and then put all the weight onto your left foot as you step your way forward into a bound warrior three. Releasing the hands down towards the mat if you need that support. And then let's keep on travelling down into a bound standing split. And then if you can, landing all the way in a bound warrior two. Pressing down through the outer edge of that back foot, sinking down into that front thigh, bringing it parallel to the ground. Inhale here, and then exhale, taking it into our humble warrior. Now release that clasp. Rise up into your standard warrior two. Breathe in, stretch back, breathe out, cartwheel, frame the foot, step it back to plank, and work your way through a chaturanga. Let's just take a moment here, holding our upward facing dog, gazing over the right shoulder, back towards the right toes, back through centre, gazing over the left shoulder. One more deep breath in here, and then breathe out, back to downward facing dog, maybe rolling over the toes. Deep breath in and out here, resetting, reconnecting to the breath if you lost it. Now rock your way forward into a plank position and lower yourself all the way down to the mat once again. Inhaling to lift the chest, exhaling to release. Inhale, lift, exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift and hold here. Once again, the option is just to stay here, or you can bring those hands to interlace behind the back once again if you wish. Lots of options here. Take the legs off the mat should you choose to do so. And if you want to take it into your bow pose, reaching around for the outside or the insides of the ankles and lifting your way up into a back bend. So focusing on the heart chakra, show yourself some love and take the option that is right for you today. That might be different on different days, so just listen to your body, be kind to yourself, show yourself some compassion. One more deep breath here. And breathe out, release. Create a little pillow for your head by stacking one hand on top of the other and just taking a moment here. Now, as elegantly or as inelegantly as you wish, you can roll your way over onto your back, keeping the spine nice and long, and plant those feet on the floor. Knees are pointing up towards the sky. Draw those shoulder blades in towards one another, rooting down through the upper body. Inhale, lift the hips off the mat, up towards the sky. If you've got a block, you can pop that between your inner thighs and squeeze that block to help you fire up the thighs. And if you don't have a block, you can just imagine that there's one there. Lift the chest, shimmy one shoulder in at a time, and once again, take that bind. You might get a little more lift once you've done that. Make sure that there's minimal weight on the head and neck, so we want to be pressing into the arms and the shoulders here. One more breath in here, and then release down onto the mat, keeping that spine nice and long. You've got the option to just take a bridge pose again, or maybe you just want to stay here, just not even taking a back bend at all, and that is absolutely fine. If you want to take a wheel pose, you're going to root down through the feet, spin the hands onto the mat so that the fingertips are pointing towards the toes. Lift the hips up towards the sky, press into the hands and lift yourself up into your wheel. If your lower back feels a bit compressed here, you can come up onto your tiptoes to give it a little bit more space. Make sure that the shoulders are above the wrists. You can maybe try and straighten through the legs, or just keep them bent. You can try lifting one leg up towards the sky at a time. And release. Slowly lower yourself down to the mat, keeping the spine nice and long, nice and flat. Just take a moment here to reset. Once again, you can just stay completely as you are right now. You can take another bridge, you can take another wheel, or you can join me in coming into forearm wheel. So we'll press up into wheel just like we did before. And then you can slowly start to walk one hand forward, come down onto one forearm, and then walk the other hand forward, coming down onto the other. Really lifting up and out through the shoulders, pressing down into the elbows. Once again, coming up onto the tiptoes if that feels better on your lower back. And release. Slowly lower down onto the mat. It's quite a tricky one to get out of. And once again, let's just take a few breaths here with a neutral, flat back. And then hug those knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. And don't just view this as giving yourself a squeeze. Really think of it as you're giving yourself a proper loving cuddle, just like you would hug someone that you really love. So showing yourself the same love that you give to others. And then bring the hands onto the knees. Start to take some nice big circles with the knees, taking them away from one another in opposite directions. And then switch directions of those circles, giving the lower spine a nice massage. And then give yourself another big, loving hug. And then let those knees fall over to the right hand side. Taking whatever leg variation you want, just making sure that the shoulders are rooting down into the mat, so getting that nice opening in the chest. So opening around the heart doesn't just include the front and the back body, it's also the space on either side of our heart, so we want these lovely side stretches as well. Release, come back through centre, and then take those legs over to the left. Come back through centre. One final big loving hug. Maybe draw the chin and the forehead towards the knees and give yourself a little kiss. Mwah. Thank you to yourself. And then release. Extend those legs out long. If you have a block, I'm going to invite you to come into fish pose for your Shavasana. You'll actually need 2 blocks. So one block to go underneath the head, and then another block, you can have it this way or you can have it this way. Just draping the upper back over that block and then resting the head on the second one. So the narrow, long edge of the block is tucking in between your shoulder blades. And you may not want to stay for Shavasana, but if you've found enough self-love to do that entire yoga practice and to take that time for yourself, then I hope that you can find the self-love to stick around for Shavasana. Taking that time to be still, to relax, to soften is the ultimate act of self-love. So take this time for yourself and just join me for a few moments of stillness. Maybe bringing your attention to the space around your heart. Once again, noticing your heartbeat. And the heart chakra is represented by the colour green, so maybe you can imagine that you're laying under a beautiful green canopy of a big leafy tree. Maybe imagining that glowing green energy around the centre of your chest, and this time as you inhale, that green glowing energy gets a little bit bigger, and maybe as you exhale it starts to spread throughout the rest of your body, so throughout the arms, throughout the torso, throughout the legs. Just filling yourself up with love, taking in love from your surroundings and transmitting it back out to the rest of the world. As you're ready, start to make some gentle movements, maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe wobbling the hips from side to side, and then slowly press your way up, coming to meet me at a comfortable seated position. Keeping the eyes closed if that feels comfortable. And then taking one hand over the other at the heart, sealing in this sense of self-compassion, this self-love, and taking it with you for the rest of your day. We're going to say a mantra. You can say it out loud, you can say it in your head, or you can just listen to me. So 3 times. I am loved and I am loving. I am loved and I am loving. I am loved and I am loving. Release those hands and then slowly lift the gaze. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love you to comment saying what you thought, maybe give this video a like and subscribing to my channel to see more from me. Thank you so much. Goodbye.